Hi everyone and welcome to another painting tutorial. So today I'm going to take you through how I painted a horse breed known by the name of Appaloosa. Obviously there's quite a variety of different appearances of this breed, as with all horse breeds. However, I found a really cool one online and decided to go for it. So over a Chaos Black undercoat, but of course can be over any undercoat, this will work just fine. I'm going to start with CELESTRA Grey. And wanting to do 3 thin coats of this, but this is only considering the fact that I did choose Chaos Black as the undercoat. However, if you to have used White Scar, Grey Seer, Wraithbone, perhaps you may only need 2, but in this case, definitely do 3. So with the CELESTRA Grey now done, I'm going to move on to DAWNSTONE and LAHMIAN Medium 50/50. Now, later on in the video, you will notice that for this particular part around the neck and the head of the horse, I do end up changing it up a bit, but we'll get to that later. However, for the meantime, just going to be doing sort of random designs. You don't want them to be too precise to one another. As you'll notice when you look at a lot of horse breeds, a lot of their patterns are very just sort of randomized in terms of the different shapes of spots, colors, and everything like that. But the important part for this particular step is that the DAWNSTONE step that I'm using right now will remain on the legs of the horse. So now to begin shading all of the flesh, I decided to use one of the new contrast paints, Dreadful Visage. And considering it's not too strong of a color, I didn't actually decide to use any contrast medium. So just as you can see, straight from the pot, and just looking to apply this all over the flesh. So now to begin darkening some of the flesh, especially around the legs, I'm going to be using some MECHANICUS Standard Grey and LAHMIAN Medium. Again, half-half mix. So really in many ways, as you can see, just following around the DAWNSTONE colour that we used just before. And again, really just trying to get as many sort of random, similar to circles sort of shapes, but not so much, not as precise as that. So with the particular horse I was looking at, just as a Google image of the Appaloosa breed, it did have darker tones towards the end of its legs. So I've decided to use some German Grey by Vallejo and LAHMIAN Medium. Again, just looking at around a half-half mix, a little bit of water as well. And just looking to meet the legs around the halfway point and just working that down. And as you can see, also just around the tip of the nose and inside the nostrils. But again, this is just this specific one that I was looking at. Of course, that wouldn't feature on necessarily every single Appaloosa horse out there, but I thought it looked pretty cool, so I decided to do that feature for the nose as well. And now with some Administratum Grey by Citadel, I'm just going to begin highlighting some of the spots. Okay, so as you can see, I did clear up most of the detail on the neck area of the horse. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I just wasn't too happy with how it was looking in that particular area. So I've decided to go back with it. Now, I did decide as well to leave just a faint amount of the Dawnstone and Mechanicus Standard Grey visible, however, very minimal. And now just looking to do some random spots using ULTHUAN Grey. Sort of random different size ones and not overloading that detail as well. And also just a little bit of highlighting just to bring out the flesh tone a little bit more. And now just using some ABADDON black, relatively watered down. I wouldn't say too heavily, but you want to make sure it's a pretty thin consistency. And again, just sort of working down, sort of a quarter way down of the horse's legs. And mostly trying to aim as well in the recesses of the muscles of the legs as well. But yes, just a very thin coat of this one. And now going back to Mechanicus Standard Grey, I'm just going to begin highlighting the muscle tone of the legs, just over the German Grey and ABADDON black, and just make sure it's not too watered down for this stage, as we just want to bring out that the definition around the feet, the legs I should say, a little bit more. And then also just immediately, don't even have to really let the Mechanicus dry all too much, just going to run that over and tidy some of that up with a little bit of Dawnstone. And now, as you can see as well, just around the leg area where we have done the ULTHUAN grey spots, I'm just going to be adding some ABADDON black spots randomly, both in size and the way that they're placed, just across those details. And once again, using ABADDON black, I'm now going to be moving on to the head of the horse. Now, again, very important that you do as many sort of random designs of this particular pattern as you can. As you can see, I've done some sort of lines and then a couple of spots here and there. So yeah, you really want to try and get as random of a design as you can, and not sort of overload the pattern too much as well. As I often mention in my videos though, when painting something based off of something realistic especially, always try and have an image in front of you, as it helps so very much in ensuring that you can just try and get it as close to the real thing as possible. And as you can see, I've also added a little bit of ABADDON black in the recesses of the neck, between the neck muscle and the head. And of course, some random little spots around the nose area, around the mouth area, even near the eyes. And I should explain as well, you may have noticed that I was painting a thin black line between the armor and the flesh of the horse. The main reason that I do that is just to create a bit of a barrier in shadows between all of the details. And as an absolute final touch, I'm going to use some Dead White by Vallejo. However, any white acrylic paint of your choosing will work just fine. Now, I'm just looking to go over all of the main sort of areas as a final highlight. And also around the black patterns that I've done, I'm just going to be doing some very subtle little minor highlights just underneath them. Not all of them, but just mostly the larger ones, as you'll see in just a moment. And of course, just little edge highlights there, like around the nostrils, around the mouth. Certainly a really important part of this, as it really helps to tie together the whole the whole thing. So as you can see there, just ever so slightly, just painting above some of those patterns. And here are some photos of the completed miniature. So I hope you found this tutorial useful today. I really appreciate everyone watching, and I would love so very much if you could subscribe, like, share, comment, share with some friends, and I hope you all have a wonderful new year. And I will see you in the next one.